Hello everyone. In this session, I would like to discuss about the module pattern in JavaScript. Okay, here I want to discuss how to export something from file. Okay, how we can import the things from another file. Okay, export and import I want to discuss in the module patterns. So let's do one thing first. Let me open the notepad. Okay, I want to write some structure. Okay, here I have one folder is there. Folder 1. This is my folder. Inside the folder 1, I have one file is there 1.js, 1.js file, 1.js file. Okay, done. Now there has one more folder is there in my folder 1, that is like folder 2. Folder 2. Okay, inside my folder 2, there has one more file is there. There has one more file is there. It's like 2.js. 2.js. Okay, think it's like a structure. Now come here. Now come here. Here I have one variable is there. Simple. I have one variable. Let's start with variable. I have one variable. That value I don't want to change it, so that I can go with the constant n1 equals to 10. Now this is my 2.js. 2.js. Inside my 2.js, I have inside my 2.js. Okay, I have one function. Inside my 2.js, I have one function. Okay, this is my function f. This is my function. Here I'm going to write like my console.log of this 10 I want to print here. This 10 I want to print here. That's my requirement. So at the time of calling my f, my output should be this 10. Now my f, my output should be what? My output should be 10. My output should be 10. That's my requirement. So that what we have to do. See, my input inside 1.js, that one I needed here at the time of calling that particular method. Okay, I need to give that one like a output as a console message. So this value I want to give to this particular function or not. This value inside 1.js, this function is inside 2.js. 2.js. That means you have to give some data from 1.js to 2.js or not. First, who want to give the data? This guy, so that he has to ready to give the data to some outside person or not. So how he is going to tell, yes, I'm ready to give the data to outside person, means by exporting. Okay, so that export is the keyword. Just you can use it. Which one you want me to, which variable or which method or another one. Okay, let's talk about the variable for now. Okay, just you exported one variable. Perfect. Once you exported this variable, who requires that variable? 2.js guy or not? 2.js or not? Okay, this guy has to import that one. How you can import? Import. Now from this is an important. From which file? From 1.js. I am here. I am inside which folder? Folder 2. Okay, my 1.js inside which file? Folder 1. That means you should have to go one level up or not. Okay, it's not in the same folder. Okay, that is like one level up or not. You are in the folder 2, that file is inside folder 1, so that you have to go to one level up. If you want to go one level up, just you can use like a dot. Okay, once you go to one level up, okay, then in that particular folder you can find my one. Okay, you can get it 1.js. From this 1.js, which variable or method or a class, which one he exported? He exported n1. That n1 you can take here, n1 you can take here. Now, once you imported within the 2.js, that n1 you can use wherever you want in the 2.js. So I want to use here. Now, if anybody call my f, my output is like what? 10 or not. That's it. This is the way we can export one variable from here 1.js to 2.js. Let's do slight change in the 1.js. Okay, that is the first thing completed. I want to do one slight change. Okay, function value. This is my function. Okay, I can write any name, it's not an issue. Now return 10. Now this 10 should be the output now. This 10 should be the output now. Okay, let's remove all these things. Now this 10 should be the output now. Now come on. If you want this particular one as a output, this is returned by one method, right? If the method you don't know about the method, how we can call and how we can get the value. So that this guy should know about the method or not, should get this method or not. So this 1.js should give this method to my 2.js or not. So how my 1.js is going to tell, yes, I'm ready to give one method or a variable, whatever it is. How he is going to tell means by exporting, by export. Okay, here you can write like what do you want me to export. Okay, export default. Okay, extra keyword I'm using now, export default value. The difference between export and export default I want to discuss now itself. Just wait. Okay, see this. This is my export default. That means 1.js exported val with default keyword. So that import in 2.js. How we can import? Okay, from which file? 1.js, one level up. So that you have to go to one level up. Okay, from which file you want me to take? You want me to import it 1.js or not? Perfect. From my 1.js, he exported val with default. If he exported val with default, then that time you can keep any name here, no problem at all. But naming convention purpose, just I'm going to put like val itself. Now my val is like which type? My val is a function type. If you have the function, can we call the function here? Perfect. Now I have one more variable also there in my 1.js. One more variable also there. What is that? My constant, my n2 equals to 20. This one I'm going to export it. Okay, see this. From my 1.js, how many things they exported? N2 they exported, val also exported, but the way of exporting is different. See this. This one exported no default. This one exported with the default or not. But both are exported from the same file. So my 2.js requires n1, okay, requires 10 as well as 20 also. So that my 2.js requires, that means import something from 1.js or not. Yes, you can write import, give some space here. We talk about this one from which file? 1.js file. Now let's talk about this one. Now you are importing from 1.js. How they exported? See this. Exported without default. Then that time directly you can write the name. Any name you can write it. Okay, but I won't write that. Exported without default. Exported with default. Directly you can use the name. Exported without default, then the time it should be in the destructuring format, in the object format. Just you can write like n2. Okay, see, within the file you exported two things. One is like export default, another one is like only export. Now see this, my val type is like what? My val is a function, you can call it. The another one is like n2, you can write it. Perfect. Now one more value also there. Think one more value also there. Okay, for example, this is like export default obj equals to m3.30. Okay, I exported one object. Now in my 1.js, how many things they exported? 3 things. Okay, one is like n2, one object, one function. But here the way of exporting, if you observe, export without default, export with default, export with default. Now it's syntactically wrong. Means one file can export the things with default only one. Okay, but here two things are there or not. Here two things are there. Here two things are there. So that either this one you have to remove or either this one you have to remove. Either this or this you can decide. Okay, for example, if you want to remove this one only, you can remove it. Here default you can remove. If you want to remove this one, you can remove from here itself. Finally, the conclusion is like one file can export with default value only one. Okay, one file can export with default only one. Okay, without default, how many can export means any number of things, any number of values, it can export it. So come to the 2.js now. Okay, how we can import something, leave it from which file 1.js. From here, I want to travel 1.js. 1.js is like my next level folder. It contains inside the next level folder. So that dot dot go to the next level. After next level, dot 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 like this, you can go in. Okay, and then the file name is like 1.js. Okay, perfect. Now come here. How many exports and export defaults are there? Export default maximum one only. So that directly you can write here val. How many exports are there? Multiples are there. Right on object. The first one is like n2. The next one is like obj or not. Next one is like obj or not. Now the value is like a function. So that I called my n1 value or n2 value. I can use it. The next one is like what? n3. How you can get it? Obj dot n3. You can get it or not. Okay, this is the way you can write it. But export to default this value exported, right? Here you can put any name, any name. If you put like this is nothing but this x is like a exported default value from 1.js, like this we can think. Okay, but export values are there, right? Without default. Here n2, same name you have to keep here. Here obj, same name you have to keep it. You should not change. Only we can change for the export default values only. This is the way the module pattern is working in your JavaScript. Like this, my import and exports are going to work. You can export a number, you can export, or an object you can export, a function you can export, a class you can export, anything you can export. If you export it is nothing but yes, anything you can import here or not. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching.